Hi guys, and welcome to a new video on Byte to Geek. Today I'm taking a look at the Western Digital My Passport SSD. We'll get it unboxed and we'll do some performance testing on it and we'll see what this thing's like. So let's get to it. So what we've got here is the Western Digital My Passport SSD. It's the 500GB version of the drive, and it's an NVMe storage SSD. So this is the first time I've actually had an NVMe in an external enclosure like this, so it'll be interesting to see what it performs like. Western Digital claim 1050 megabits per second on this. I believe that's actually the read speed on it. Like most devices, they tend not to put the write speed on it. It comes with hardware encryption as well, and it's USB 3.2 Gen 2 compatible, and comes with a USB-C cable and a USB-A adapter with it as well, and the various Western Digital pieces of software that you normally get on their external drives. But we'll get it open and we'll see what you get. So let's get it open and see what's inside. That box to the one side. So there's your drive in the external enclosure. So this is the silver model, as you can see there in the light. It's a nice it's not overly shiny. It's got a nice little pattern on the front there, which actually like a ridged effect to it. Your Western Digital logo on the top there. It's kind of like a raised profile badge, and USB-C port on the end of it there, and that is about it. There's no screws on it or anything like that, but it is a bit plasticky, but I'm sure you could probably get that apart if you were really trying. It is available in other colours as well, but obviously, yeah, it's quite a nice silver one there. Then you get your leaflet in your various languages, but I'll not look at that for the moment. And then the remaining item is your USB cable. So you get a very short cable, not actually much longer than the actual device itself, and that is a USB-C cable connecting at both ends. And then you've got your Type A adapter, so you connect that on there, and that is your USB-C to USB-A connection. I think on first impressions, this is way too short of a cable. I think if you're going to connect it to a laptop, I think that's fine, but anything else really, you're going to have to invest in another cable just to get, if you're going to plug this into a desktop computer or something like that. That's a bit on the short side. So let's get this connected to the computer, and we'll see what you get on the drive, what's pre-installed, and then we'll do some performance testing on it. So I've got the My Passport drive installed on the computer. It's plugged in on the USB-C port, and as you can see here, 465 gigabytes capacity, so a little bit shy of what's on the box, but that's really to be expected on drives. And as you can see, there's a couple of pieces of software on the drive, one for Windows, one for Mac, and it's just the Western Digital Discovery software, so you don't really need this to use the drive, but if you want to take advantage of things like encryption, you'll need to install that. You could just copy them off the drive, store them somewhere else safe, and then format the drive and get the full capacity, but they only take up a small amount, and for the purpose of this review, I'm just going to leave them there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my file copy test. So I'm going to take this 130 gigabyte test file, which is on the NVMe drive on my desktop computer, and I'm going to transfer that onto the My Passport. So it's a Gen 4 NVMe in my computer, so it's got very fast read speed, and this should absolutely max out the write speed of the My Passport drive. So as you can see, a bit of an initial burst in the as the files start copying, and then it settles down. So we're there in around about 440 megabits per second on the transfer, and obviously this is going to take about 4 minutes, something like that. So what I'll do is I'll just fast forward through this video, and we'll see what the overall result is. So just as we're coming through to the end here, and it's been fairly consistent, I must admit, it has stayed at around about the 440 megabits per second. So I think that's what you can expect in a real life large file copy to the drive. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is, as I've done in previous tests, is do a small file copy. So I've got this folder full of images here. There's about 900 odd files, and they're all roughly around about 6 meg in size, and the total for copying over is going to be 5.5 gigabytes there and about. So this is probably equivalent to like a DVD or something like that if you were copying that onto your computer. So what I'll do is, again, this is from the NVMe drive in my PC, and I'm going to copy that onto the Western Digital My Passport NVMe, and as you can see, very, very similar kind of performance there, slightly less overall, but it's still within the same kind of region, and quite a fast file copy really. So if you predominantly do that kind of transfer of files, I think it's quite a good drive for this. So the next thing I'm going to do is a local file copy. So this is all on the Western Digital My Passport drive. So I'll take the 130 gig file first, and let's see what happens. So obviously, this is having to read and write on the same drive. And as you can see here, the overall performance of it, it's considerably less than when it was coming across from the NVMe drive. In terms of speed, we're looking at highs of 245 to the lows of kind of like the 220s on the megabits per second. So you can probably say somewhere in the region of about 230 megabits per second, 235, something like that. However, it is going to take an awful lot longer. It's almost twice the speed here. So you'd kind of expect that really with it doing the read and writing on the drive itself. So what I'll do, again, rather than have you sit there and watch a 7-minute file copy, I will fast forward the video. And again, just coming to the end of the file copy now. So yeah, it's about the 220, 230 mark on this. So not too bad. But obviously not as fast as direct copy from another computer to it. But I guess it just really depends upon how much you're likely to be copying files around on the device itself, rather than copying files to the device. So what I'm going to do now is just do the small file copy, and we should see roughly the same. So we've just got slightly higher performance there. We're 280, so that's a little bit of an improvement. Obviously, when you're doing smaller files, just starting to dip down a little bit. So there's obviously a level of caching going on this drive, and as you can see, halfway through the cache is probably filled up, and then that's the overall performance. So looking again back at that large file copy, it's clear the local file copies are probably around about the 220 megabits per second performance there. So what I'm going to do now, just do the large file copy again. So this is taking it from the Western Digital My Passport NVMe SSD and copying that onto my NVMe drive inside my PC. As you can see there, it starts off quite well. It's over a gigabyte, but you know, quite quickly settles into around about the 810 megabits per second, which is about right. You know, it's a Gen 4 NVMe drive in my PC, so this should be able to push that to its limit as well. So I think it's a good indication of the read speed from the drive. And again, I'll just fast forward this a little bit so you don't have to sit through the whole file copy process. So we're just coming through to the end of the file copy now, and it seems to have settled down to around about the 740 odd megabits per second. It's getting a little bit higher than that at the moment, but by the looks of things, the average is about 745 megabits per second. So that's not too bad, given that, you know, most of the time you are copying things onto these drives rather than copying the other way. So I don't think you'll be too disappointed with that. So what I'm going to do now is just load up Crystal Disk Mark and see what that thinks of the drive. We'll just get it to run the 4 tests. So there you have it, guys. That's what Crystal Disk Mark thinks of it. So 1027 megabits per second on the read, and that is very close to what's on the packaging. It's 1050 on the packaging, and 941 for the write. Obviously, you know, real world use in kind of the examples that I've done, you know, we're a bit off that. I prefer the method that I've done rather than what Crystal Disk Mark does, because obviously, you know, most people who have these drives are copying either large images to them, or they're copying lots of small files. So I think you get a better indication of what it's capable of. So I'm just going to throw up some slides for you guys so you can get the overall sets of stats for this drive, and yeah, we'll come back after that. So if you're looking to get hold of one of these guys, they are at the moment on Amazon UK, they are about well, it's a penny shy of £137, which does sound a little bit expensive, I guess, you know, given the capacity that it is, you know, 500 gigabytes. Yes, you could do something similar yourself and get a 2.5-inch SSD and stick it in an external enclosure. You probably wouldn't get quite the same performance. And certainly, you know, this thing just fits in your pocket. It's so tiny. It's like a bar of soap, really. It's you know, shirt pocket, trouser pocket. It's going to be an easy thing to carry around, and it looks really nice as well. So obviously, you know, they do different capacities. You can get 1 terabyte as well, but you know, that goes without saying. The price increases quite a bit for that, but what I'll do is I'll put a link down below for one of these drives, guys, and then you can take a look yourselves. Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Any questions or comments, you know, drop them down below and I'll try and answer them for you as quickly as possible. But you know, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.